session. It's kind of a throwback session here, being live public with all of you. Bitcoin trading right off of new all-time highs. It's a beautiful thing. If you listen to, or if you go back, and you have to be here live for it, you know, for whatever reason, our honeymoon here has been an anthem of CTM for many years. And if now it gives it like copyright strikes, and I have to remove it after our live session. That may or may not remove the chat. I'm not sure. Replay crew, please let me know if you're watching this overnight, if you're able to see the chat. But if you're able to follow the first couple of dozen messages here today, what you're seeing are some top traders who know exactly what's going on and exactly how to navigate markets with the correct mindset. Craig, I mean, obviously, Michelle was talking about the title and what happens next on Bitcoin. And at the same time, he's there grinding each day along with you on the right side. Now, it's not always on the right side. What? We're not always on the right side of the markets? No. What do I mean by that is you can see BTC over here taking that. Let me find her. BTC taking that nice profit. As Michael said, since 2020, it's the largest capture. You don't see large captures from BTC 107, right? Where are we starting? What's the start date we got over here? 2014, 1 million% with a 16% drawdown. And the average trade is 2.81, but that includes losses with a 44% profitable. We got to jump into ghost mode. That includes with 44%, but the average winning trade is like 8.5%. So if you see the average winning trade, 8.65%. With the largest winning trade, almost 42%. That trade that we just took over here was a nice one, a 26% gain out of the market. Obviously higher than the normal, but this is what BTC, Ace was saying, it's one of the two best models he's ever seen on the coin. This is the best I've ever seen, right, Ace? I think that's what you meant. I really, truly do. And then Ace also monitoring for us BTC version 3, which is not released yet. We've been building this for over a year. It's built on top of CTM 2.0, which is built on top, I should say, it's built on top of CTM X, which is built on top of CTM 2.0. And it's not like the models that we run, 2.0 and X, are phenomenal, both of them. But at the same time, we're always looking to improve after about a year's worth of effort, this time largely coming from the dev team, largely coming from the Wizard, largely coming from HeyU, and of course with interaction from Summit and everywhere else. We are moving towards the soon-to-be release of V3. And Ace is pointing out that, and V3 obviously outperforms. Instead of 1 million% and a 16% drawdown over that same time period, look at the average trade moving up to 5%. 13 million with 17.5% drawdown with that average win. I just want to see for myself what the average win is on V3. The average winning trade instead of 8.6, 13.7. And this one was late. The entry was later than CTM X, CTM 2.0 as well. However, it's still holding that trade where BTC 107, our staple, has now exited that trade into profit. And this is what BTC 107 is a master at. We spoke about it in yesterday's session. We said if there was a pullback, it was going to be very quick to exit. And you could see locking in almost all of those gains. And the same thing over here. If there's any type of resumption out of here, if we see any, that's not probably the best chart to look at it. Let me revert over here. I didn't get a chance yesterday to say some thoughts that I wanted to, so I'm going to over here. But if we were to see some type of, let me come back down to a 2-hour time frame, price is moving pretty quickly, right? If we were to see, just throw a trend line over here, if you were to see a break above that trend line, and you could see that structure, 1, 2, 3, that touches into it. It was trying to hold that support here. It didn't resume making the higher high, and then it break down. That right there. So this is awesome. This is for like discretionary people who are looking to translate that into mechanics at some point or another. When you have the resistance over here, right? You break above it. You came in for a retest that didn't hold yet, but then it held over here. And then you came up and you don't make the higher high. When you take out that level, that's an early underbelly entry, the earliest possible. And I mean, do you want to trade against this monster? I know some people are. Anyway, for what it's worth, if we get a resumption out of here, I just went off on a little tangent, and we always do that. If you get a resumption out of here and you're clearing back above that structural little line over here, at that point, we'll be long on Bitcoin and targeting the next move up. So that's the beauty of BTC 107. Ace is saying that combining in the future BTC V3 with V2, well, then you have an outstanding standing model. Twice this morning, NASDAQ taking out lows, and thus far not able to handle any follow through ahead of Jerome Powell speaking this afternoon. Markets under some pressure, a little bit of pressure off of today's higher inflationary readings and the stag inflation coming back into the discussion. Bitcoin here, do you notice? I just noticed this morning because we're in November. It's been so far a beautiful green month. We're hoping to close it a beautiful green month and then stack it in December. There's only two other times in the past where, forget October, but leading into October, which is very favorable seasonally, the only one that matches October in favorably, but not in performance is February. And if you remember, after the launch of the spot ETF in January, Bitcoin was trading under 40K. And we said, you know what? We're going to see new all-time highs come up in February. February put in a 43% banger. Seen a lot of bangers. So, but any other time, September has been green ahead of October. You've seen the last 4 months of the year close out green. Let's hope that this one here continues to show up and perform as such. Would love to see it. And then I'm just looking ahead. And in the past, nope, January was green over here. Bitcoin over here as it's rising and it looks like it went vertical. I just want to revert back over here and look with you and keep saving this, but it doesn't save. Hold on. There you go. I must have another chart open somewhere. In the past, when you've seen a clean break of the 0.786 retracement fib, which has happened twice, you can see it over here. You can see obviously a strong move up, but check this out. Here's the other time it happened. And this was in 2020. And a break above and a clean sweep up, right? But this time we've seen something a little bit different, and it does resemble more about what happened over here in the 2016 halving into 2017 and 2016 halving, 2017 bull market. And you saw the breakout, the retouch, the consolidation for a while, and then ultimately a strong push up, which led to a really long-lasting bull market. We have potential catalysts that we would think could lead to a lasting bull market. I saw Novogratz yesterday because it was posted in the Discord. He doesn't think that the U.S. is going to take a strategic reserve position. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, it was a red sweep. If Congress proposes the law and then it's voted on by the Senate, I can't imagine the president vetoing that. So we'll see whether or not. But this one over here resembles a lot of what just happened, except there's one difference. In this one over here, you see the move back down, the consolidation. We all know it because we lived through it recently from March until the recent breakout. But this one's actually been lasted longer and consolidated even more than this one. Is that right? Let's just check over here to make sure. So from the time of the breakout, it's 135 days. It's because it seems a lot longer to me. Let's see how much longer it actually is from the breakout to the breakout. Yeah, it's a lot longer. 135 days longer. No, it's not 135 days longer. Well, yeah, just about. So it is over twice as long in order to get the breakout. Does that suggest that potentially we're setting ourselves up for some prolonged and not diminishing returns into this cycle? I certainly hope so. I mean, there are things that could definitely throw twists in that. And you look, I don't know what they are. You don't know what they are. For sure, that person, whatever, doesn't know what it is. So we have to watch out for it. Obviously, one of the things that might be a cause for concern right now is like, well, the debt's getting bigger. Are we going to see is that going to become a problem? I don't know. People have been talking about that since forever. Not that it's not becoming a problem, but I think the Department of Doge, I love Elon trolling everyone, is a fantastic thing to help to contribute to government efficiency. Remember, he fired 90% of Twitter employees. X is still up and running better than ever, in my opinion. So Bill Ackerman, though, was talking about, look, there were a lot of companies out there who were simply afraid to make acquisitions under the past administration and the amount of litigation brought against them for monopolies. And he believes that now is out of the way. And into the next year, we're going to see a lot of acquisition activity, which should spur a lot of growth. You have people who are mega bullish and mega bearish. As always, the fight between the bulls and the bears continue. But no, sincerely, there are a lot of things that point to us potentially in for a long and elevated ride. What it's going to look like, I don't know ahead of time, but I sure do know that together we're going to be able to navigate it and make sure that we stay on the right side. Beautiful, beautiful. This is what I was hoping for, if you remember. Jordan, you're always hoping for it. You're always looking to put us into a position of power. Yep, certainly am. But here we are back in a massive position of power. Yes, Ethereum didn't make that last run. Ace was talking about how you could use BTC 107 version 2 with when V3 is launched and then have like the ultimate combination. It's similar on BTC 103A and CTM 2.0 on the buy side. CTM 2.0 on the buy side is holding an open trade. It's currently still holding this trade. Here we go. We missed the trade on X. We're not into it. Now, the performance here on X is phenomenal, right? It's just another trade, individual trade. CTM 2.0 caught that trade. It's holding that trade. And unlike BTC 107, it holds on to that trade for a long time. And if we do come crashing down, it'll give back a meaningful portion of that profit. So BTC 107 is quick to lock in profit, and Ethereum is quick to give the trade room and allow it to run. So you can see over here, if you go to the list of trades and you look at past open trades, you come over here and you look at, I'm going to find a bigger one, right? Like, for example, this trade closed with 15%, but gave back 50% of its open profit. For example, this trade closes with 18%, but gave back roughly 40% of its open profit. And that will happen 55% closed, 72% open. That will happen over and over because that's how it's designed. That's how it's able to capture. And it's the opposite with BTC 107. BTC 107, you go to a list of trades and you're like, it was up 34%, took 26%. I'm looking for ones that ran into profit. And the average trade's only 8%, the average winning trade. So you don't see those large lins like we were looking at. Here's a 17%, taking 12%. 19% took 14.8%. So what they're designed different. Ethereum gives the trade room to run, and then Ethereum is quick to lock it in. So buy side boost. I'm glad you mentioned it because buy side boost was an absolute hero here, in so much as that Obviously, Cardano's holding a 50% trade open. Before it took that trade, Bitcoin entered the market alone. When Bitcoin entered the market alone, taking 100% allocation, if you're deploying buy side boost, instead of like, if you split your portfolio up to 25% each, instead of only taking a 25% position, you took a 100% position into the Bitcoin entry. And then it was up 8-9% when Cardano entered the market. So you exit that trade, 25% of it, and enter that funds with Cardano. So you locked in 8-9%. Ethereum is on the sidelines. Solana's on the sidelines. But those two 25% allocations just rocked a 26% closed position. Absolutely phenomenal use of capital and efficiency. We're looking at Cardano still holding that open trade. Just like Ethereum, Cardano gives back a lot of its open profit, or this is going to go much further into profit. We don't know yet, obviously. Solana here out on the sidelines, still waiting for us to enter into the market. I heard something that I wanted to answer. Hypernova. Oh, so look, for Hypernova, for Ethereum, for Solana, for Cardano, on buy side only, people that execute buy side only just use our buy side template on the buy side only. Now, Bitcoin has a template that is developed for the buy side alone, right? So if we're going to come over here, I'm going to come into our buy side template over here and BTC 101 on the 8 hour. This is designed for the 8 hour. Let's look at, we just looked at what Bitcoin's performance was from 2014 to present, and it was 1,000,000% with a 16% drawdown. This is, so what am I missing, Hypernova? Well, I'm not going to get into it now, but something's off there. Oh, that was the buy and sell side. Sorry about that. Hold on. So you have a 232% return. And if you take off the sell side and it's buy side alone, you're looking at 144%. So you could see the buy side BTC 101 template that we have is designed for those that are trading just on the buy side. And it's better than the template here. Are we going to be able to create that for V3? I don't know. I sincerely don't know. I mean, it starts with simply taking BTC 101. The wizard inverts it into V3. And then because V3 offers more money management, whether it's locking positions in that are X amount into profit, X amount of bars into profit, or using a ATR trailing stop loss, like just the same exact strategy with the money management improvements. It will take the same amount of trades exactly, but some of those trades will be managed different. So you might see a little bit of increased return. That's potentially on the table. But before we get to that, Hypernova, we need to figure out maybe the VTC 103 on the buy side alone. Hold on one second. This is what we do. We just keep our heads down and we work, right? Let me just go ahead and do a quick analysis. And so Hypernova, we're going to look at me taking this off the screen so y'all not blocked. There we go. And so instead of that 232% return on BTC 101, it's massively better, right? So likely we're good if this is the buy side only option, you know, and if someone's able to do better, then someone is able to do better. So what do I mean by that? Well, I digress. So one of the things that's really neat about the stop loss here is it's pretty tight, 2.7, right? This is things that have to go into consideration over here. The stop loss is a little wider over here. It's 4.2%, but the returns and drawdown speak for themselves. It's a better option. in my opinion. But that's something that everyone needs to assess together as a community as well as on their own. So, little nuggets every day, little small incremental improvements. And then all of a sudden we look back and we look at where we are and what we built and how far we come. That's what we're here for. We're looking at today's PPI data coming in higher than expected. What am I missing here? Hold on 1 second. I don't know what I'm missing. Why is the headline showing it came in as per expectations? I'm at a complete loss. I don't know what I'm seeing and why I'm seeing it and where I'm seeing it. Did I see massively different numbers this morning? I don't think I am, but I'm don't understand. What? I don't know. PPI unexpectedly, I thought I saw massively different numbers than I'm seeing right here. Huh. I don't know. I know Chris probably posted it in the Discord. He always posts the performance in the Discord. I don't think they changed it. I don't know. PPI prints hotter than expected. So this is not really showing any difference over here. It's only showing core and headline PPI rising 0.1% higher than expectations. So either which way, this is a long way from the Fed's mandated 2%. It's moving in the wrong direction. However, it's weird that you didn't see any type of repositioning inside expectations for the December cut. Mild, right? Very mild, nothing, not moving the needle whatsoever. And then on top of that, you saw the dollar sell off on that. And also, where's my 10-year? And bonds go bid off of the higher inflation. So that's something that I pay attention to. And you could see that the yields ticked a higher high over here and then sold off or went bid actually on news that you would think may even lead to higher yields. So you could see that like expectations over here. No, it's not really saying anything about yields. I think that again, we put out this line over here. If this were to trade now below 4.325, right below this structure and below this sell impulse, that would be signaling for me a near-term high in yields. And then whether we look at the retest down over here, if the retest over here, and ultimately the retest over here and see how price performs. But just like this was the earliest signal and well ahead of everyone but Stanley Druckenmiller and Paul Tudor Jones, who absolutely are giants and crushed it. You saw yields sell off dramatically. This would be the area that I look for the first opportunity to close out that trade and to reverse it to seeing bonds go bid. I guess contrary to everyone's expectations, as happened here. Most people thought that we were going to see the dollar really, really turn. The dollar didn't turn on Trump's and Republican sweep. It definitely extended out to a massive leg upwards. Look how it came into our resistance, having a little bit of trouble with it today. But it was on the Fed's decision to cut 50 basis points that the dollar reversed. So a lot of people are confusing those two things, I think. And maybe not. Maybe had the election gone a different way, we would have been seeing the dollar actually selling off a lot sooner. I can't really I don't know. NASDAQ, after 3 days of leaving wicks up over here, finally making a lower low, but not able to extend thus far as the market is waiting likely on Powell speaking 3 p.m. There's chatter that afterwards Yelling is set to speak as well. That's interesting if that's the case, and there's some institutional infighting going on. So we'll pay attention to both of them, what they have to say. I did want to highlight gold today. And gold, after that, by the way, like, first of all, we called the breakout. And then this is the first time we talked about potentially a pullback is getting ready to happen. We called that pullback early ahead of the black diamond breakdown. We did that also, if you remember, with the dollar and with the 10-year. Trying to think of when we did that with the dollar, right over here before the breakdown. And then the same exact thing with the 10-year. Calling their early exit before the breakdown. Strange. Both of those led to pretty prolonged moves. So we're going to see that again. So we called the exit over here, around here. And then we talked about a potential breakdown of a black diamond, which happened, retest, and are now testing that conservative sell impulse. It's holding as support. I think this is an area to look for a potential reversal. So you can line it up in two ways. For the aggressive, you're going to be looking like this. You can see price coming into resistance right now. The lower line is a black diamond. It's highly aggressive. The risk to reward is pretty strong. And by the way, a close below this upward sloping line, that would be the exit. There's a good chance, I'm going to tell you now and ahead of time, before it happens. Oh, let me try. I'll just clone it and make it lighter. Oh, try. Third time's a charm. What is going on? Finally. There's a good chance that if we do close below the bolded line, that this one now holds. So really, if you were to take an aggressive entry like this, a double black diamond's aggressive, I think that the exit is actually below the lighter line, which is almost at the low, depending on when it were to cross below it. And that will be a little bit of a learning exercise. We'll see in real time if that's correct, or maybe not. Maybe we get the black diamond entry. Maybe then it takes us into the conservative line. Maybe we get a breakout, and then all of a sudden we're back above 2,700 again. We'll find out in real time as it unfolds. Zach, great to see you back here. You're a familiar name with lots of love from CTM towards you. Feel bad for sure. All right, CTM. Well, I guess we're light and sweet today, except we need to check in as equities are trading off a little bit. What's going on with our positioning? We're looking at, we got a wider stop loss here, 6.8 on TQQQ. It's currently minus 1.6% into loss, unrealized loss. We're looking at NVIDIA earnings coming up next week, 7.4% open profit. FNGU still holding 20% open profit, and Tesla holding in position 10% open into profit. CTM, lots of love, everyone. Shout out to everyone here today on the replay crew. Have a beautiful day, everyone. God bless you. Back to work on the inside.